I need to change my YouTube access because my home is a little bit too messy. And I'm just going to put the. Let me just arrange. I didn't realize that my screen was going to go in a very strange way. I might even just hold it, but let me see. All right. So, hello and welcome to your weekly live. I'm Samridhi, your Cosmic Soul Whisperer. Every week we come together to look at Akashic reviews for the week, to tune into the energies of the week, and then prepare ourselves to live more consciously and with more alignment with our Akash. So, as we journey with this, I'm welcoming everyone who's joined us through our Instagram as well as YouTube. And I'm so grateful that we get to do this every week. And I thank your commitment and your intention for consciously working on yourself, tuning into cosmic messages that assist you to live a more aligned, more balanced life that is aligned with your soul purpose, aligned with your original Akashic blueprint. So let's get straight to it. Now, tuning into the energies of the week, I have very little reflection because I'm still going through a lot of the processing. And there's a lot of messaging that is coming through the channel space today. So I'm going to go straight in, close my eyes, and start to download a vision. And we'll see what this Akashic vision is for this week. What does it represent for us this week? And then from there, we'll go into the channeled messages and any other reflections that come in. So as I'm tuning in, I'm asking for a vision to be shown to me from our Akashic guides. I've already done a prior meditation and enrolling and asking permissions in the higher realms. So now, as I'm tuning in, I'm asking them to show me a vision for this week to come. And we're already on a Tuesday. So, what are the visions that are coming through for this week that will support us in our conscious journey and alignment with our Akash? So I see an ancient tree. This tree has grown out of a temple, an ancient temple, and the temple doesn't stay, it isn't there anymore structurally, but energetically it's still there. And the tree is spreading far and wide. And as it's spreading far and wide, I'm seeing that a lot of the roots between each of the branches are almost like constellations in the stars. So lots of connections, cosmic connections are coming together, where this tree is connecting the ancient story through the earth and going down and occupying the space that was once held by an ancient temple. And it's also going to the other side in the sky where it is connecting, and each of these branches are connecting with different nakshatras, with different constellations, asterisms, and bringing true cosmic influence on our life. So as I'm seeing this, I'm feeling like there's a lot of celestial, lots of cosmic, lots of higher energy center kind of energy that's coming through this week. And that is on the basis that for thousands of years, this tree has lived with its roots grounded down into the earth. And, this expansion right now wouldn't have been possible if the roots were not taking time to really earth themselves. So this week is really about reaping the benefits of grounding yourself, of doing the things that you can consciously do to navigate through your life, and for all the choices that you made where you chose stability instead of expansion, so that you could really integrate everything that you have come through in this lifetime, and you're able to enjoy the bounty of all the resources that you're having, instead of chasing so many dreams, so many projects that you don't feel anymore that you can sustain anything, you can hold that lifestyle. So within that, I'm looking at the constellations and I'm asking if there is any particular constellation they want us to have a look at. And what they're doing is they're taking us to the center of the galaxy, close to the center of the galaxy. Within this space, this is that there's kind of like a blue color hue. It's an indigo to light blue, that kind of a hue. It's almost like this glistening energy. It's not constant, it's just listening and moving its energy like that, then that's very close to the galactic center. And they're taking us there, which is somewhere, some part of the tree itself, almost like the core of the tree or the higher self of the tree itself. And as we're going towards that realm, this is really, really close to origins. So there's also this symbolic energy that we're connecting with the galactic center. Now, when we come in alignment with the galactic center, things are very different, because that's where the original cradle of humanity was started and was held, and it still is. So many of our humanoid um, aspects are still living there and still experimenting with what life can be on these planets. And they're experimenting with what kind of organs can be um, subconscious and unconscious, and what kind of which organs should really be active and that we need to consciously work through. So for example, in our on our planet now, right now, the very beautiful prolific blueprint that has come up, where the digestion happens without our conscious mind dealing with it, our heart beats without our voluntary it's involuntary. Well, yeah, voluntary and involuntary, those are the words I was looking for. So they're looking at the voluntary and involuntary functions and playing between them. And can there be an interchange? For example, we can heart just beats the way it does as long as we're alive. Our breathing happens as rhythmically as it can, while in the background, while we're doing many things. Our food is getting digested while we're doing many other things. So while that is happening, there is an invitation of whether we can bring a lot of those involuntary things to do them more consciously. So thank you so much for the lovely comments that are coming through on both the platforms. And as this is happening, I think the most easiest and the closest to our easy reality where we can implement it easily is the breath. So one of the things that is becoming a focus this week is breathing. And we think it's just focusing on our breath and allowing it to be in rhythm. Hi, Kini. As we allow this breathing to happen, and happen in a way that feels aligned to our speed, feels aligned to the way we are thinking and feeling things. um, Sorry, I got distracted. We are also connecting with an innate part of ourselves, which is connected to the center of the galaxy. Now, this is the halo around the center of the galaxy. So let's go a little bit into this Akashic journey and see what's coming through. I'd love to get some messages too. So as we always do, we tune into the vision, and then through that we get the interpretation, we get some messages and some beings that may come in, they give us some light language activation or messages as well. So as I'm tuning into this space, I'm feeling there are a lot of ancient energetic archetypes that are waiting for us. And these energetic archetypes are waiting in the form of the 12 archangels. These 12 archangels are standing as the split of the original ray of creation that is within the center, within the eye of the galaxy. Within the eye, they're right in the middle of the eyeball. That's where this consciousness sits, and it literally looks like an eye. And some galaxies actually look like physical eyes, physical human eyes. Our galaxy doesn't look like a full eye, but it's more circular in that way. But it's more it is elliptical, but it's not exactly like an eye. But they're still showing me the center of it, and around that, this halo is this angelic energy of higher beings that are the split of the original consciousness into the first 12 ideas, the first 12 splits. So first it was 3, then it became 6, then it became 9, then it became 12. So we're coming to that 12th aspect. Hi, Sayu. So as it is coming through, they're showing us these different 12 aspects of our own selves. So, as above, so below, as outside, so within. So, if it happened in the first original story of our galaxy, it's also happening at some level for us here right now. So if you think about it, in this week, it's possible that you're going back to that original story of why you do what you do. So many people have been coming to me last week telling me, I have gone on living my life in this way, but I actually wanted to live this way. And now I feel like there's such a gap between what I wanted to do and what I've ended up doing so far. So a lot of that reorientation is coming back, that awareness is coming back, catching up with our emotions and feelings is coming back. So if you are also on that journey, this is a confirmation that yes, this is what is going on in the collective at the moment. We are being reminded of what is going through in your heart and how to align with that original idea. Now, as hi Mosi, hi Kamasi. So as we're continuing with this, there's also some other interesting aspects coming through. So let's go and let's start to interpret what this vision was all about. So when we go back to the original, the beginning of the original vision, we saw there. I saw there was a tree, this ancient tree, sitting inside an ancient sacred site. And underneath, the roots have gone deeper than the foundations of the temple itself. And above, this tree is now, the branches are now representing connection with the different um, constellations within our galaxy, our cosmic connections. Now, the focus that they're giving to this week is not much about the roots, because the roots is all the work you've done over the last couple of weeks, or months and years and lifetimes. This phase of your life, this particular week especially, is a part where these branches, they are showing us what cosmic influences are coming through, what blessings and bounty are coming to you from the cosmic aspect of yourself. Now, within that, we're not going into a particular constellation, not going into a particular star seed group. Or a star group of beings who are out in the cosmos, but we're going into the original 12 thoughts of source of the creator, creatrix, that aspect that became these 12 pillars of light. These 12 pillars of light, when they move so quickly around the center of the galaxy, they create kind of like a halo. A halo is not a stagnant light form. It's actually a lot of moving energy, a lot of motion in energy in motion, emotion, and that's allowing you to feel like, oh, that's a halo. It's giving the illusion that it's a circular disk of light, but it's actually a lot of movement happening with light that's giving us that illusion. So this week is really about connecting with that, going deeper than just knowing that this is a halo, going deeper and tuning into those 12 aspects, which are these archangels and their blessings that are allowing you to get these cosmic insights. Now, I know this is a lot of abstract language, so I'm now translating it into more practical ways, more physical ways, so that you can live this reality. So what's going on in the physical realm this week is, and this is for anyone who's tuning in, this is in the now of now. So if you're tuning into this message a year from now, a week from now, or today, it's perfect. It's coming to you at the perfect time. So if this is a different week, but you're feeling called to listen to this today, then this is perfect for you. So um, what is the halo that is forming around you this week? What aspects or archetypes are supporting you this week? So, here I can give you an example of archangels, but it could be any divine beings that you've been tuning into, any ancestral energies that you've been tuning into, or asking or seeking blessings from. All of these beings are coming in to support you, and they're creating like a halo. You may not know who is doing what, but you are receiving the support and guidance. So, this week is actually it could be, for some it may be that you're identifying which particular being, which particular archangel from the 12 archangels, or which particular divine being is coming here to assist you. And for others it could be the opposite message too, that forget about who it is coming from or where it is coming from. If it resonates with your heart and if it is feeling like it's helpful, go ahead, go with it and listen to it as your internal guidance. Allow it to guide you. So it's kind of both ways. So it could even be that in some moments this week you'll want to connect with a particular energy, and other moments of this week you might just say, I don't care where it comes from, it's feeling benevolent and helpful, so I'm going to just take in the message and see whether it resonates. If it resonates, I'm going to follow it. So that's one of the things that's coming. Now they're showing me this halo, and it's going much stronger than before. And as I'm focusing more on this halo, it's interesting that they're asking us, where do you feel the illusion that something is a halo or something has a halo? So sometimes there may be an illusion, because a halo itself is an illusion of a lot of light energy moving in a certain way that it creates that illusion. But it's actually, if you freeze it in space and time, you know that scientists now are able to freeze light. That was a, last year, I think, scientists were able to freeze a ray of light, and it was quite fascinating to see what that's made up of, and what does it feel like. And they're discovering the scientific properties of frozen light, but we're still not there yet. So to fully understand what that means. But if you were able to, if we were able to freeze light and figure out what was actually happening, it's not a halo. It's a lot of light movements in different ways. Some are curvy lights and some are straight lines, and all of it is creating so many things. And now, if we tune in further, these different lines of light, or these different curves of light, are not just curves of light coming in from the higher realm. These are actually different versions of you from different timelines that are moving and dashing and clashing until you've explored all of it and you're here. Now, this message is getting a little bit even more complex. So let's add another layer of complexity to this. So one is, there can be an illusion of halo. So is there anybody around you that you've been idolizing a lot, but in this week you may realize that actually they're as human as anyone can be. They also have their shadow as they have their light. And sometimes, are we creating a halo on ourselves? I highly doubt, for the people who are tuning into this message or attracted to my kind of work, that you may be there, feeling like you have a halo and others are not on your level. But if you find yourself caught in some moment like that, or if you find yourself being judged for being not being in the halo for someone else, this message is really about freezing it in time and knowing that in the eternity of time, everything has already happened. What I mean by that is not just one possibility, but many possibilities have happened already. All possibilities possible have happened already. You're choosing to experience only one of those and connecting from one thread to another. This possibility, I've explored this one, and from here I'm jumping into the next thread and the next thread and the next thread. That's how we're creating life right now. And that doesn't mean that other possibilities don't exist. There is another version of you doing that job that you thought you'd never do, or that version of you that chose a relationship instead of leaving it, or that version of you that chose to live in a different city. And as you lived in the different city, it has created another parallel version of you that is not the same as right now. So there are so many parallel versions of you, and they're not just in your imagination, they are living and existing in a realm of existence. So when you know that all possibilities exist and they are existing concurrently as you are speaking right now, there is a halo around the full radical acceptance of what is happening right now. And that out of all the possibilities, out of all the timelines that could have been, I chose this timeline. I chose to be here in this way. That means there's grace in it. There's love and respect in it. And there's probably something that this timeline has for you, and it's not offered by any other timelines. That's why you are here. So there is also an appreciation of that, an offering of that. So I'm just reading one of the comments. um, Yeah, so somebody is saying that they feel this, but only when they are in a very conscious, expansive energy. When they're not feeling their conscious energy, it's possible that they don't feel this halo, or they don't feel this expansion right away. Please let me know if that's the way you intended for me to interpret it. Oh yeah, Sayu, is that what you meant? Please clarify. So yes, absolutely, we do have our shadow and our light. And how far and expansive can we go in our light? and how deep and fully accepting can we go in our shadow. That's really the challenge, and builds our range. So this week is about knowing that yes, there could have been so many timelines, and yet you chose this particular timeline. Because you chose this particular timeline, there's something special about it. There's something so exclusive and unique about this timeline that nothing else could have offered to you. Maybe another timeline had a stable career or a stable relationship or a way of uh, traveling a lot, or something that you feel you're missing right now in your life. But all of that has brought you here, and you chose this in a higher conscious level. So that's the message coming through, not just for this week, but it feels like a message that is kind of like transcending over a period of time in our lives, and it feels important. So if you're feeling like you have been stepping into something, it feels uncertain, there's so many possibilities how things could have happened, but they have happened in this way. This is an invitation that was right, and this is an invitation that you made a choice at some higher conscious level to be here. So this is a right choice, and this is something that will serve you. So it's a beautiful confirmation. It's, pretty much like how we have um, these synchronicities that come in to tell us that, hey, you're on the right path. Um, yeah, so that energy of knowing that there are so many timelines, there are so many possibilities that exist concurrently right now as you're here, so many other possibilities exist right now. That knowing is actually creating the halo. And that's what they're showing me, that all the beings that we know as enlightened beings, they have all experienced that. They've all experienced knowing that they could be anywhere else, but they are here. It's not the same as collective minds per se. It could be, but in this particular context, it is actually the different versions of you, the different parallel reality versions of you in multidimensionality. So in all the parallel realities, whatever you could have done in each stage of your life, and you bring all of that together, those possibilities, and fully accepting those possibilities creates that halo. So that's what they're showing us today. And as that is occurring, you may actually feel like there's a halo around you as you navigate through this week. So what that means is you may feel you are connecting, you may feel you're feeling insightful, you're feeling like you've chosen this reality, and so you're able to be supported into going through with this journey. So there's something so comforting in knowing we all chose this life. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes I see this often in my Akashic journeys. People say, I chose this. Are you serious? I chose this. And then when the wisdom comes through of why those things were chosen and why those aspects have opened in our life, there is a grace that steps in, and there is a contentment that comes in, and that just allows for everything to start settling. And the moment you start settling into each moment, more like the higher those jumps from one reality to another. In simple terms, when you fully accept your physical reality here and now, no regrets, no what if it could have been that way, it should have been that way, no fighting and feeling like you were given the shorter hand by fate. And when you sit in that moment where you feel, yes, I think everything makes sense and I'm here because I was meant to be here, when you accept it at a radical level, uh, in particular areas of your life especially, or even better if you do it overall in your work and your life journey, in your full overall experience of life in this reality, it starts to allow for the highest timeline jump from here to the next highest possibility. So it's kind of ironic. Like we think that, manifestations can happen when we think higher, we expand our mind, we know what is possible and jump towards those possibilities. While, of course that's true, and that is, when you try it and test it, that works. There's another way that works too. By fully radically accepting where you are right now, you can still open the possibility, just energetically, just simply happens effortlessly. You open that possibility to jump into that highest timeline coming from here. You weren't even expecting it, and that good news happened. You weren't even expecting, and that expansion happened. So that's really what they're showing in this week. That radical acceptance because of all the foundational work you've done, growing your roots, being in an ancient temple. And the temple always, in symbology, whenever I see a temple, it generally represents your body, and your body in this timeline, because your body is your temple right now. This is where your soul lives. So wherever your soul, the most sacred aspect that is creating all of this life experience, where that sacred aspect lives, that becomes a temple. So that's why that's your body. That temple has been doing all the grounding work, and now you're exposed to this cosmic information coming through this week. You may be receiving these messages as inner knowing, inner guidance, having clarity about what really brings you presence, what really brings you joy, and for being in this moment. So, all of those regrets, all of those other possibilities in the halo, knowing that they can also exist, but you're here. And because you're here, you have chosen it. And this is the best timeline there is for you to fulfill your soul's destiny. Absolutely. And I'm seeing some comments here as well. Body is soul's temple. And this is the second time somebody, Nimisha, has heard this since yesterday. So that's beautiful. Sometimes we get these synchronistic messages because our own soul is trying to help us remember. So that's lovely. I'm so glad that it resonates. So all of these messages are coming through, and they're bringing us some halo medicine today. So this halo medicine is coming in from the archangel realm, the realm where the first ray of consciousness split itself into 12 rays, and these 12 rays brought through this wisdom. So tuning into this light language activation, it is an invitation to allow yourself to be in this halo of accepting your situation, accepting all that has happened to get you to be here. Alana sahi sharanasiya takara salanasiya sha'a. They're almost whispering in your ear. Yalana sia shukura tukuno shu isaranasha a salana tukura sa a. Yalana takarashu no surukushi asiana shukula si anashi yasasha. Yalana sia shu kanasala shi sanashu salakasha. Yalana hiasa nasha nasa nasha nasa. Yahalanasha Sarasha. Through your breath, Yalana Shu Isana Shu Unusuruku, you receive the highest possible timeline for your next. So it's kind of like a relay race. Each moment you complete a breath with full consciousness and full presence, you're receiving the next baton that will take you to that, that, and that the next version of you will take to that next destination. Yalanaisha suruna shukusara. So that is how. So somebody is asking me here. Sayu is asking me here. How can we receive that guidance to choose the other quantum possibilities? That is through your breath, they say. Yahana shukuno surushulana saranasha. And actually, it's not even the breath, it is the gaps between the in breath and the out breath. And between holding of that breath as well, all those silent, fraction of a moment, periods where you're inhaling, you're holding, and you're exhaling, and then that cycle continues. Between those gaps is the spaciousness where we are jumping timelines. So each moment where we're taking an in breath and an exhale, we are in our body, in our temple physically, and all other moments in between, we are traveling between timelines. That's what they're showing us. So this week is a really potent week of jumping from timeline to timeline consciously, by first fully accepting where you are and continuing to be with your breath. As you continue to be with your breath, beautiful opportunities are opening up, beautiful divine aspects of yourself are showing up, and that's allowing you to expand. So this week is about that deep inner expansion. And yes, sometimes shadow may come up saying, oh, I saw that possibility, I wish that possibility was here right now. So this week is about accepting radically that yes, I did not choose that for a reason. Someday, if it's meant for me to understand, the reason will come through, but I do fully accept where I am. So each time a shadow comes up for you, the invitation is to accept, and as you accept, the next jump comes automatically for you. So I'm also reading a comment here, resonating with me too. I've been working on my temple. Beautiful, beautiful. So the mixed cassette, I love this so much for you, because absolutely, there is no other work that is more sacred than working on your body, working on your physical temple, because that's allowing your cosmic self to translate itself in this physical reality. I feel like this new place is bringing through a lot of deep, deep cosmic energy. So I'm loving it. I felt like while I was, high up in my skyscraper building, I was bringing in more grounding messages, and while I'm here now, I'm able to bring in more cosmic messages. So that's exciting. So this was the transmission for today. I'd love to know if you have any question about. Actually, I'll change the invitation. I'd love to receive from you a word of what you are feeling at the moment about this week. What theme is coming up for you? And please remember, I read all comments, respond to all comments, whether they are live or whether you're listening to the replay on YouTube. And so I welcome you to share wholeheartedly. And please feel free to come back to this recording, to come back to this replay on YouTube anytime, when you need a little bit of a pick me up, or you need some messages from spirit. So, when we just open ourselves and we sit, that's when something completely hits and resonates with us, and then we go forward with it. So, the randomness of it is not actually so random. It's not that random after all. So, that's the other guiding underlying message of this week, coming from radical acceptance, moving into your halo, and allowing for all possibilities to exist. And that's when your highest timeline jump is happening. Beautiful. So I'm reading some of the comments here. So Vimala Rajkumari, what you shared is overwhelming. Sayu is sharing beloved. Beautiful. Another theme of the week I'm seeing from Gary is alignment back to this self. Beautiful. And the mixed cassette, acceptance keeps coming up for me. Beautiful, beautiful. I think that acceptance, that radical knowing and accepting of everything that is happening here, that allows for that greatest healing to occur. And now I want to share something that happened this week that I've been still working through. So I got into a moment of overwhelm yesterday with, a couple of things not happening. My internet not working for 3 days. My phone crashed, and there was no hot water. And then I was not able to give the keys. There were issues with my with my car. No, car was all right, but there's just a lot going on. Everything I was trying while during my move, there was some obstruction I was facing. So I got to a point where I just my phone wasn't working either, so I just went to visit my sister, and I just went and sat next to her, and I said, okay, just don't talk to me, I just want to sit for a while. And I sat, and I just, a tear came off. It wasn't that I was sad or anything like that. I was just very overwhelmed with everything happening at the same time. And as I did that, my beautiful sister, she also did that. So she also teared up, saying she was also having a tough day. And as we just exhaled together, I feel like we did have that beautiful shared radical acceptance moment. And as that radical acceptance came in, we decided, she took a half day and she said, come, let me help you. We'll figure all these things out together. So she helped me figure things out for me, for my move. And I helped her cook, and we looked after the kids, and all of that happened. So it was just so beautiful. And suddenly the day turned around so beautifully, and we didn't expect that in that moment of overwhelm, the evening, a couple of hours away, could have been so beautiful in this highest timeline. And that's what physically happened. And so it's beautiful now that I'm realizing after the message and trying to connect it with whatever I've been experiencing this week too, that yes, that's happening. Like when you have that moment of radical acceptance, it's everything is flowing into its highest timeline automatically. It's almost like it's already on autopilot to do its highest best thing, until our fears, our shadow obstructs it, our belief systems, limiting belief systems sometimes obstruct it. But when we allow that to open and we just have radical acceptance, we are removing all resistance towards the highest timelines coming in. And that, as that comes in, that's the halo effect, because then everything is happening, everything is being accepted, and you're still jumping from timeline to timeline in your best possible outcome. Hi, Mohammed from Egypt. Lovely to see you here. Good morning. So, thank you so much, everyone. It was just such a rich, shared journey today. And I'm wishing for all beautiful energies to come through this week where you keep jumping on your highest timeline, moment to moment, as you navigate through this week. This week feels like a profound week, which is inviting us to really go within and tune into the sacred messages from the heart. So I welcome you to make the most of this energy that is being given to us, especially from the galactic center and the halo around the galactic center. If you know, I know that I speak these terms sometimes because I'm trying to simplify a lot of the galactic astrology, galactic Akashic terminology into day-to-day application. So if you ever have questions, just reach out to me or leave it in comments, and I'd love to share. And for those of you who want to have a personal journey, one-on-one journey with me, where you want to know what's happening in your Akashic field and what is influencing you to bring in your best life, and to make sense of who you are at a soul level, what have you been in other lifetimes and other realities, and why have you picked this timeline, and what are the beautiful expansions that are coming through you. And there's also an opening for any healing that may need to take place or that your soul is asking for, so that you can jump from this particular timeline to something that feels even more aligned for you. So I welcome you to book a one-on-one session with me if that feels like it's a calling for you. I'll leave the links in the description. Also, on the 7th, on the Friday, I'm doing a group Akashic meditation. And this group Akashic, we've been doing this every month and we've been doing it for years now. So if you feel called, we can tune into the group energy. We bring through sharings from the group. We tune into the group energy. We go into a realm of existence that is unique, and each download is a completely different journey. So we go into the collective cosmic Akash and bring through information, healing, light language activation, and lots of expansion. And as we do that, it brings healing for each individual who's signed up. It brings healing for the collective and for anyone who's listening to the recorded, snipped version on YouTube. So you're welcome to book and register for that to be a part of the live event, or allow your energies to be tuned into and being considered into the live healing process. So I'll leave that link in the description as well. And it's just such an honor that we get to do this every week. It's such a pleasure. So I will meet you next Monday with more Akashic insights. And now starting to bring in a lot of astrological knowledge within this as well. So you'll slowly see that shift also occurring, just to add some more facets and dimensions to what we are doing and how we can make sense of what's happening and what we call life. So thank you so much, Matthew. I really love that you could join us. I know that we shifted the day from Monday to Tuesday, so thank you for being patient with that too. And thank you everyone who's joined us on YouTube as well. Really appreciate you all for your presence, for your sharing, and for this co-creative experience where collectively we name something and we shift the energies and we go in this rhythm. So thank you so much, and I will see you all next week on Monday. Bye bye.